Hello and welcome to round 2 coverage of the 2022 Springtime Open. We've got some great disc golf in store for you today. My name is Kendra Mueller. I am joined by
Matt Curtis. How's it going, everybody?
Excited to get back into round 2. We've got a great card for you guys. We've got Andrew Marwede heading up the card at a blazing 9 under. Absolutely ridiculous. We've got Ian Hamilton at 6 under, followed closely by George at 5 under, and Ziggy rounding up the card at +1.
Oh yeah, Kenju, it has been a pleasure to watch these gentlemen come out and battle a challenging course in some very challenging weather conditions, but they're putting together some fire.
All right, let's see what they can do in round 2, starting with hole 1. All right, we've got hole 1, par 3, 340 feet. Pretty much just a stock hyzer with a whole bunch of trees in the way.
Yep, Kendra, the real trick here is getting off the tee clean, not hitting an early tree, which of course, goal of woods golf. But if you make it up here to this clearing and you push through some guardians, you have a better chance of getting a clean putt.
Obviously, this hole is reachable by every player in the MPO field, I can imagine.
Reachable, yes, but
yeah, getting clean through this fairway is it's a feat, to say the least. See, Andrew it's one of those cases where it's better to be off by feet than to be off by inches.
Yep, I'd like to say that a kick in either direction, maybe one's better than the other, but getting off the tee doesn't look great either side. But here's George.
He threaded the knee a little bit, pretty good.
Yep, he made that skip in the opening.
Oh, a little rough ground play getting off to the left of the green there. It is a bit of an elevated green here, a little bit of an elevated basket on a hill, so there's not really such a thing as a gimme unless you are literally on the side of the hill.
I wouldn't expect it, but Ziggy was putting it up.
Beautiful layup. Yep.
Smart choice.
Ian doesn't want any of that. And this is where George's great drive that just penetrated ended up, and you see it's still like just.
And there's Andrew making it look smooth.
But he even had that for par, so
yep,
with a great approach. So, very difficult starting hole, in my opinion.
No, you got to be clean off the tee, and you got to have a clean putt. Even the MPO can struggle sometimes.
Not too much, though. They're all walking away with their pars there. So not a bad start. Hole 2. Par 3, we've got 345 feet. We've got OB on the right, which may come into play, especially if you're really trying to attack the basket with that backhand.
And knowing these guys, they're going to put some pressure on. Hopefully it doesn't move too quick.
And I spoke too soon about the backhand, but I think he got some good turn on that. And we'll see if that checked up. I'm pretty sure it did. It's right on the edge. Ian going for that backhand. He had a nice flip on it, but just not enough flip.
All right, here's George. Can he get before the tree?
Oh, almost made the correction off of Ian's throw.
And Ziggy.
The number of times I've said, "Oh, that would have been great if that tree wasn't there," is embarrassing.
Well, he got the distance.
Yeah, but he's moving up the fairway. I think we're seeing a bunch of up shots from these guys. Not really any real birdie looks. We'll see where Andrew ended up, but.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a rough kick.
That is tough.
There's so many trees on this course.
Yeah, goldenrod seems to be the type of course that will punish a good throw, if that makes sense.
It's sad. It's a sad reality. And Ian giving that a great bid. A little rough play. And look at Andrew's drive. Trusting the forehand, and I think he did end up OB, so he had to take that for his par, but that's where you want to go OB. It's always a great feeling when there's OB close to the basket, and you don't want to be OB, but if you are, you're going to have a good par look. That's always a great feeling to hit those putts.
Yeah, very aggressive play with the forehand, but knowing that if he goes a little bit wide, it's a 15-foot putt for par. no harm, no foul.
Yep. And then
All right, guys are cleaning up. George.
Ian and George getting the bogeys on that hole.
Oof.
Oh, George getting the double because of the OB stroke.
Moving on. Moving on. Hole
We're
3.
forgetting that hole happened. We're moving on. Hole 3. We got par 3. 315 feet.
Looks like we have some water.
The water's not going to come into play, but I do, as an AM, I would say this is a bit of a poke and hope hole, because for me to be able to hit this line that they're aiming for is probably a 1 in 10 shot. But for these guys, basically an ace run, wide open ace run with the forehands these guys have on this card.
Yep, you just have to really trust it doesn't go too far and hit that water.
Yep, Ziggy just turned it over a little bit too much.
Yep.
And Andrew, once again, just nicking a tree. Ian trusting his backhand, getting some great movement out of that, and just catches one tree.
Not a bad bounce. Push him forward, a little bit closer to the basket. George going forehand. See if
A little
he can
bit of
come
a
back.
force over. It's making its way down, skips, and hits basket, hits chain, and sits parked. Which,
well done.
just ridiculous. And Andrew, I mean, I'm hesitant to call that a true layup. He was going for it with that one.
Yeah, good effort. Nice birdie. Good job on Ian.
Yeah, Ian, he penetrated that fairway effectively. That was, yeah,
Not too bad. George's drive just hanging out there.
a leaner. Oh, I think that might be Ziggy's, actually.
Nope.
No, it's
No,
George.
yep, George even got Ziggy. Wow.
Yeah. Yep. They say a leaner is more rare than an ace, so
Well, he's taking home the CTT on that one.
yep. There's no leaner pool. Maybe they should start that. All right. Hole 4, par 4. 590 feet. I love this hole.
Yeah, I have to say, it's actually probably one of my favorite holes out here at Goldenrod. You're starting off in an interesting tee position, which gives you a very straight shot, but you got to play the fairway a little bit and up to a flat plateau where kind of anything can happen.
Yeah, you've definitely got to have good. It's pretty much just a basic hyzer out of the initial gap for the landing zone where Ian just kind of peered it. George just kind of peered it. But you really got to watch your speed control on the second shot because the green is very flat. So if you land a little short, there's a good chance you won't get a skip, and then you'll just have a longer putt than you're looking for. But the woods does butt up to the basket pretty close. So if you push it long, you're going to wind it up with a obstructed putt.
Yep, it looks like one of those holes where the easy play is the right play, but sometimes if you try to press it too much, off the drive, you end up right behind these trees. And as we see here, Ziggy trying to take
pretty aggressive line. I think he just didn't get as much of that disc as he wanted.
I'm going to guess the uphill slope is deceiving with the depth. So you really have to get on this disc, and you have to remember it's going to become a little bit more stable as it gets up there. But there we go, George.
George ending up on the edge of the woods there. Andrew correcting just a little bit further left.
Good
I think that
play.
sat right by the basket.
Nice.
So I think what you're looking for is just a little bit wider, but it's just, especially in the conditions they were playing in, it's hard to really count on that skip as Ian's left with a lengthy putt for his birdie.
Exactly. With this ground, even though it looks like short grass, it gets a little bit wet, a little bit damp. It can take
Catch and cage for Ian.
poor result there, but on a good bid.
Yep, looks like George and Andrew are going to clean up their birdies. Yep.
All right, bouncing back.
With the ace run and then the birdie. That's a great way to bounce back from that 5. That's how you know a good player, is when they don't let those big numbers but phase them.
Yeah.
Hole 5, 310 feet. This is one of those holes that makes me glad that I was there recording the video and not playing, because this is just, it's insane. The fairway is like 10 feet wide at times with water on either side. Insane elevation changes.
Yeah. Earlier you mentioned poke and pray.
Yeah, like this, I do feel like there are pure lines, but they're so hard to hit.
And not to mention, we kind of are playing this slightly blind, so the line you're looking for, you kind of have to, well, know it by experience, or just run this left side as straight as you can and hope. Oh, hope
yeah,
that doesn't happen.
There is a hill down there that leads down to water, so we'll see if Andrew checked up. I love how Ian trusts his flips with his backhand. 'Cause he's like the anti-Big Germ, I feel like. Whereas Big Germ throws forehands on backhand holes. Although I honestly couldn't tell you if this hole is a forehand or a backhand.
Great job, Ziggy.
Yeah, there's no routine upshot, I feel like, on this hole.
I think it all comes down to luck of the landing and skill of the player. Good job, George.
Yeah, it all comes down to skill of the player, and these guys are incredibly skilled.
I mean, if we're paying attention to footing, if we're paying attention to body position, none of these putts, none of these upshots are easy. Good job on Ian
ridiculous
on making that
putt from Ian.
Wow.
The OB stroke, saving it from down in the crater. And Andrew can see the basket, so his putter can see the basket. Easy par.
Good recovery with that OB.
Hole 6, 300 feet. This is another stock hyzer, but forehand with a little gap to hit.
You know, as a forehand player, I appreciate the fact that there are holes out there designed for us. But honestly, with this hole, these opening and closing gaps, it makes it challenging for any player to go out and attack it.
Absolutely. But these guys have some fantastic forehand, so we're expecting them to attack this hole pretty aggressively.
I like a show, and George is putting one on. Let's see what Andrew can do.
Right at the base of the hill. Andrew, with his 2022 Tour Series Hurricane, which is actually, honestly, one of my favorite discs that I've ever thrown. Right next to George's, beautifully placed on the base of that hill.
Can we go 3 for 3 with Ian?
Can we go 3 for 3? It's turning. Is it turning too soon? Or is it finishing?
That looks a little early.
Yep, he catches a tree, ends up right at the mouth of the gap.
Great bounce.
He'll have a bid.
And Ziggy taking the same route.
Yeah, I think he just sawed that off just a little bit. I'm a little surprised. Maybe Ziggy didn't trust his forehand, his power forehand, after that last hole where he turned it over a little bit a couple holes ago.
It's possible. You know, one hole gets in your head, similar shots exist, and suddenly you're second guessing, and you're taking a 3 instead of a 2. Let's see what George can do for this birdie run.
And cash. He said, what 5? What 5? What are you talking about? 3 birdies in the last 4 holes.
He's walking it down.
He's turning the heat up. See if Andrew can match it. Of course.
He can.
Little known fact. Well, widely known fact. Andrew, I believe, was the top Tour Circle 1 putter in 2022.
He did take it from Corey Ellis. That is correct.
And I honestly feel like watching this footage and editing it has genuinely improved my putting, because I was like, wait a second. Andrew's pretty good at putting. Maybe I could learn something. So,
yeah, it's a great approach to it.
Yeah. All right, hole 7. Par 3. 255 feet. That's just the name of the game out here. Tight fairway, lots of trees. That's pretty much it.
Looks like you're going to need a pretty standard backhand hyzer with a mid.
Or putter.
Yep, if you got a putter that you feel that you can make this tight gap off the front with.
That's not what you're looking for.
No, that's not what you're looking for. Again, tight gap, and forehand's not going to help you, so these guys are all going to the backhand.
That's moving down the fairway, and that's what you're looking for.
Ooh, Andrew is taking his own run at getting into Circle 1. I think he did it.
With his putting, how it was on this day, I think he's thinking that's just a tap in. If it's inside the circle, it's a tap in.
And I'm thinking Ian liked what he saw. And
Generally
he's
a
like,
tap in.
Better. Oof. And
Ziggy pretty much getting the worst kick you can possibly. It's one of those times where you want it to hit a tree, and it just doesn't hit a tree, and so
choosing to re-tee.
Yep. He was probably about 40 feet directly into the trees. Probably at least 2 strokes to get back to the fairway.
Respect on that. Respect for Ziggy having enough experience and knowledge to make a smart play like that.
And George, never a good sign to see someone go to the flick roller. Definitely not a good sign to see someone go to back flick rollers.
Yep, but this one at least got him putting.
Got away from him a little bit off on the edge of that rough.
And Ziggy making a run.
Yeah, I think he was hungry after that re-tee situation.
Ooh.
Another good bid from George. Couple players having a rough time in this hole and trying to take it out in the basket.
Again, this course, you got to get off the tee. And we mean not even for the easy birdie. We're talking about just so you don't take the bogey.
Yep. Andrew just making it look so easy.
I mean, 3 out of the 4 players making this hole look simple.
Well, 2 out of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to find ways to simplify things. Let's see what George can do to clean this up.
I feel like this is one of those holes where all you really have to do is hit the gap with the right disc, and you're probably going to have a good look at birdie.
Oh. A little high, a little right. Joys of disc golf.
But if you miss the gap by 6 inches, you're going to take a big number. So I feel like it's a good separator because you're either going to take a 2 or you're going to take a 5. All right, hole 8. 295 feet. This is just dead straight. Like, it's one of those holes that might make you feel like, oh, I got to move it left at the end, but really, you don't. It's just dead straight. Probably with a mid-range. Just slide it right up there, and you'll have a look at 2.
Yeah, looks like the trick here is you can even come in at a little bit of an angle like Andrew is doing on his release, or you can land flat.
I think he just pulled that a little bit.
Yep, snagged a tree at the end there.
Yep.
Ian
also pulled it a little bit. See if he can get through something.
Pushed up there pretty far.
Yeah.
So. And Ziggy, come on, can you get off that tree?
Just a little bit extra turn on that.
And George going
That's
low.
Almost what you're looking for. We'll see.
I mean, he's definitely inside circle. So he's putting.
Definitely the best look for the group. Oh, that's a mistake that I think we've all made, and it's just it's no one's fault but your own.
Yep, the invisible branch, the tree you didn't see, but Ian's not letting him get him down. He's making this nice healthy putt. Good bounce back.
Ian cans a great putt as a recovery, and look at George, great position for that birdie. Just like I said, you just gotta go straight, slide it up, trust your putt. Andrew, yeah, I didn't realize how far he pushed into the fairway.
Yep, it kept moving. Good on him. Adding another birdie, and that's his 3rd in a row.
It's a lot of green on that scorecard. Ziggy cashing the par. And we are on to hole 9. We got 315 feet. It's a little bit different, I feel like, from most of this course. It's a little bit of a choose-your-own line. We're going to see probably at least a backhand from Ian and a couple forehands.
Yep. I actually think the forehand play here is a smart one. You can play a little bit shorter with a flexy forehand going up the left side, but
a little bit of forward skip.
But if you got the distance on a big right-hand hyzer and you trust yourself, go for it.
Another example of a tight gap off the tee that you've got to hit if you want to score, and I think Andrew just turned that over a little bit.
He did, and this is why the advantage goes to the forehand, because you can do shots like this, where as long as you keep it low, keep it moving, and it will just glide up next to the pin.
Just enough stability to get it on the edge for that ground play. I feel like just a couple less degrees, and that's sliding and not getting up there.
100% agree. And then here's Ian.
Yep.
Looks like he might have tagged something there about halfway through the flight.
I like that play, but I think he just turned it over a little bit too much. And Ziggy, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if that tree wasn't there, it probably could have been great. But it was just...
I think we call that good course design, right? That
Yeah.
one tree wasn't there.
Yep.
All right, good
The
scramble
number of
shot.
times I said, I need to put that on a T-shirt. If that tree wasn't there. Oh,
he was
for Ian
he
from
was going
downtown.
for it. Respect.
Andrew immediately doesn't like that.
Yep, looks like it got a little
Yep.
high in the hand.
Yep. The way Andrew putts, if it's not going in, he's upset. If he's doing a putting stroke.
I can agree to that.
Yeah.
All right, Ziggy cleaning up with a par.
Yep.
Oh, this is one of those you want to get.
Even George with his beautiful birdie look, not able to get his putt to stick. And a little bit of a rough way to end this round 2 front 9 for our card. But some solid golf, especially from Andrew. And there's a lot of green on our scorecard, so this is a very tricky course. Yeah, these guys are kind of tearing it up.
Not too bad. Couple rough spots here and there, but based on the difficulty and the tightness of some of these lines, they're at least pulling through on their upshots, and some of them are making some very healthy putts.
And the conditions were not ideal on the day.
No.
Absolutely not.
Nope. So they're making this look easier probably than it really would be for most of us.
And that concludes the front 9 of round 2 of the 2022 Springtime Open. We hope you enjoyed, and we hope that you will join us for the back 9 coming up soon.